It's the holiday season. I got my ugly sweater on and it's time for cookie swaps. It's time for family time. It's time to just get those sweet treats in. Maybe you're making cookies for Santa. Maybe you're making cookies to share for Hanukkah. Maybe you're just making cookies to eat for yourself. I don't care what the reason is, but here are some beginner winter themed royal icing decorated cookies. How many words can I fit into this title? But here they are. My name is Cami Bird. I am the founder of Iced.Kitchen, and I have been decorating cookies since 2013 and teaching other people how to do it as well. And so the set for this month are 3 different cookies. We are going to be doing a present, a snowman, and a snowflake. And I will say, you will see a lot of snowflake cookies this time of year, and kudos to those people who only decorate cookies once a year and all they do are snowflakes, because I find snowflakes to be one of the hardest cookies to do. But you are gonna learn how to do it. You're gonna learn how to do it well. So let's get into it. So we're going to make 3 different colors of icing, all with the same 15 to 20 second consistency. I'm getting started with the white icing right here. I've added a little bit of water and I've mixed it until it takes about 15 to 20 seconds to fully settle. And so that's what I'm counting, watching here. It can also be about an Elmer's glue consistency when it flows off of the spatula. I wasn't quite there. And so now I'm testing it again. You have a terrible angle to see this, but I just want to make sure it's all mixed in and it's flowing. It's flowing well, so this one is good to go. Next up, we're going to be making a light blue. I'm just going to do 1 drop of blue. You could even do a little bit less. And as always, less is more when it comes to adding water. It's you can thicken up an icing that you made too thin, but it's easier just to go slower and add a little bit of water at a time. And again, we have that Elmer's glue consistency, and we're going to end with a dark blue. It's just going to be 2 dots of blue food coloring. Add a little bit of water into there and mix away. And you can see this is already a darker blue. If you let your icing sit for a little while, it will develop even further. Once you bag your icing, set up your station. I like setting down a piece of parchment paper, my paper towel, my decorating little turntable, grab my icing and my scribe. And now we're going to cut the ends of our icing bags. We are keeping it simple. We're just cutting a straight edge. I like to put the seam up and cut straight across and then turn the bag. And it's really important for this set that you get that straight across for each of your piping bags. So I turn the bag and just make sure it's straight again. I'm going to test to make sure that it is the right consistency and that piping bag's good to go. The present cookie consists of a white base icing, and so I'm starting by just outlining the entire cookie. This is in real time, and then once it is outlined, I'm going to come back and flood it. And so this is definitely sped up. I had to readjust my hand multiple times. My icing was a little just weird. This month for some reason. The cookies turned out fine, but the icing was somehow stiff and liquidy at the same time. It was confusing. After you do your layer of white, you're going to come in with your scribe. This was very important for my cookie because my icing was a little funky, and I'm using my scribe to just kind of spread everything out, and probably my favorite is what I call the washing machine. Stab it and mix it. Okay, here's where the really serious part comes in. Not serious, we're just going slow. So I'm taking the light blue and I'm giving it light pressure so that I can start a line. And I will say I was very impressed with my line work here. Lines are typically very hard for me. So the key to lines is giving a little bit of pressure and then letting the icing flow out of the bag with a soft, consistent pressure until you get close to the end, when you don't give any pressure and you let the line just end. Very, very hard. After you do 1 line vertical, 2 lines horizontal, you're going to come back and do your bow. Now, we're not going to try and tie a knot or anything here. I'm just doing a loop with a little tail. And then I'm going to turn my cookie and do a loop with a little tail.
that is a mirror image of it. And again, similar to the lines, you want to give a little bit of pressure and let your icing fall out of the bag. You are not putting your icing tip against the cookie. So that was all with the light blue, and then I come back with the dark blue to go over the bow. This can give it a little bit more dimension to your cookie. Now, if you're happy with the light blue, leave the light blue. But if you want a little bit more dimension, come in with that dark blue and repeat the steps. You're doing that loop with a little bit of tail just for the bow, and you're going slow. You're letting the icing fall out of the bag, and there is your present cookie, adding one little dot in the middle. The snowman cookie has a base of dark blue and white, so we're going to start probably about a third of the cookie outlining what is going to eventually be the hat with the dark blue. And then once you have that outline, come back and fill it in. This again is sped up. Once it's filled in, you're going to grab your scribe and make sure it's all evened out. And then you're going to come in with your white. Now the white does not have to be against the dark blue. My line is a little separated. That is totally fine. But I am outlining the rest of the cookie, going that line across the dark blue and then around the outside of the cookie, and then it's sped up as I am filling this cookie because again, my icing was hard. It was just hard to work with this time around. No idea why. Cookies look cute, that's all that matters. Come in with your scribe, even that out. Now you have the option to go work on a couple of other cookies or to the base of your snowman cookies and then come back and do this the detail work, or you can immediately go into the detail work. It just depends on if you want a little bit of dimension or not. So what I started with is the light blue, making a little fuzzy beanie effect along the edge of the dark blue and the white, and then also adding a little ball on top, and then I do a carrot nose. And so I'm just piping out those shapes, then I come in with the dark blue and do a dot for each eye, and then I'm going to do a dot for the mouth. I did not have any consistent dot remarks here, just whatever looked like a smiley face for a snowman. The snowflake base is either going to be the light blue or the dark blue. I traded off. I did half of my snowflakes dark blue, half light blue, and you're just going to outline the full cookie and then fill it in just like you did with the presents, but with blue. Once you fill it in, make sure to grab your scribe so that you can even out the base of your cookie very nicely. And then once you have that base, you're immediately going to come back with your white. And we're doing more lines. So you're going to start with 3 long lines that go across your cookie, almost the entire diameter of the cookie. Is that the right math term? And you're going to do them about every third. So in the end, you would have, 6 slices of pizza if this was cutting a pizza. Once you have those 3 long lines, you're going to repeat it with short lines in between each of those sections. Now, hopefully you're watching this video and not listening to these directions, because that would have made absolutely no sense to me. But when you watch the video, it makes more sense. So again, to make a very good line, you're watching this all in real time. This is how slow I am moving. You want to give a little bit of pressure, let the icing flow out of the bag. If you give too much pressure, you'll get curling on the end of your piping bag. And so it's just finding that perfect happy medium in between. Once you have these 6 lines, you're going to come back and add a dot, 2 to 3 dots. Again, I traded off on this, above your short lines. And I'm just going around adding 3 dots above my short lines. Some of my cookies and my short lines were a little bit longer, so I only did 2 dots. Some, they were shorter, so I did 3. This was my best snowflake, so take that as it is. We're adding those dots, and once you have those dots in each section, on each of those, you're actually going to add a dot onto each end of your lines, short and long. We're just adding those little bit of snowflake details. Now, when it comes to these snowflakes, you can completely follow this design and direction, or you can go design whatever you want. I mean, the thing with snowflakes is you just want it to be a mirror image from one side to the other. So whatever design your heart desires, go for it. Go have your creativity. I'm just adding little dots onto all of these. The other thing that helps with is if you are getting curling on the end of your lines, or if you're ending and you're getting a little like smudge at the end, we're fixing it. We got dots on the ends of all of these lines anyways, so that doesn't matter. So big fan of that. Next up, you are going to add little kind of like arrows onto the ends of your long lines. And I had a little mix up with my white. So I'm coming out with my scribe and just kind of moving my light blue around so that we can hide that little mistake. Great thing about this wet on wet technique, where we're using the same consistency of icing for our designs, is they should be fluid enough that we can do things like that. So here I'm coming in and I'm adding those little arrows. Think of it like the end of an arrow, how it has the feathers on the end. We're kind of doing that to our snowflakes. And I'm doing 3 on each end. And I start on one side, adding that slanted line. And you want to go slow because you don't want that curling on the end as best as you can. I'm surprised at how well I did at this, because lines are not typically easy for me because I'm a very impatient decorator. But I did 3 on one side, and then I'd turn my cookie and do 3 on the other side. There was something about getting the right angle that really helped me to get these lines as best as possible. And again, I just want to repeat, this was the best snowflake cookie I did. Snowflakes are my nemesis when it comes to cookie decorating. I truly do not know how people can come in who decorate cookies once a year and whip out some of the cutest snowflake cookies I have ever seen. They are just phenomenal, majestic people, apparently. So I am taking this incredibly slow, which is why I can go on about why people who can decorate snowflakes well are people who thoroughly impress me and make me a little envious. I said it. But I'm taking it slow, and I still have 2 more of these long lines to finish adding onto, and I'm just going to take it slow. I had another little mess up there that I fixed with my scribe, and my cookie will dry just fine. It'll be good. Everything's good. And so again, when you're working with making lines, it all comes down to pressure. And so you might want to practice a little bit. You also might find that your piping bag hole is a little bit too big. So you might want to have a new piping bag. But that is our snowflake.
So how did it go? Did they decorate well? If you haven't downloaded the free guide, you can grab that down below. And please, please, please share your creations, whether you made them with your kids, whether you made them with your cousins, whether you made them with your siblings, whether you made it with your parents. I don't care if you just made them by yourself. I want to see your holiday creations. And I promise if you share them with me, TikTok, Instagram, you can email them to me. I do not care. Just tag me, let me know so that I can celebrate one of my favorite activities with you. Fun little story. The first time I ever decorated sugar cookies was for a little holiday event. And I don't think I was super good at it, but I really enjoyed it. And so it turned into this lifetime hobby that I have now. So let's get into the cookies. The present I thought was going to be my absolute favorite, but these tails somehow really bugged me. I don't know. I did really like layering the bow. I thought that was really great, but you know, all in all, this is the fastest cookie to make. It's the simplest cookie to make. Super fun. You can totally play up the coloring and it doesn't matter. Now, when it comes to the snowman, I made 2 varieties. I did this one where I didn't give any wait time in between the top of the blue hat and the snow base and putting the face and all the decorations on. So they kind of all blended together, which totally works, totally looks okay. And then I decorated about 2 other cookies, and then I came back and put all the decorations on top of this one. And so it just stands out a little bit more. And honestly, I don't think I have a preference between the two, but I'm curious if you do. Well, let me know. Now let's look at these snowflakes. So the one I show in the video is this absolute gem of a snowflake right here. It's so good. I was so impressed, and it gave me a false sense of security because I thought, I have some more snowflakes to decorate. It is going to be good. Boy, do I feel wrong about that. This is the last one I did, minus it kind of bleeding over the side a little bit. This felt so hard to decorate. I also should have been wearing my glasses instead of my contacts because I felt like I had no depth perception, and depth perception would have really helped with these snowflakes. So definitely let me know how decorating these cookies went for you, who you decorated them with, if you decorated them with anyone, and if they were a hit for your holiday season or not. I'm very excited to be sharing this winter set with you, and I'll see you in the new year for the January set. It'll be a mystery until it drops in 2024.